Hi everyone, I'm Jordan with Tablespoon, and this week we want to learn a little bit about salt. So salt is probably our favorite ingredient in the kitchen because salt is what makes your food taste great. The role of salt in cooking is to enhance and intensify flavors. So it makes everything taste more like itself, and it prevents your food from being bland or dull or just not having that pop. A lot of times people ask us, how do I learn how to season? And I would say the biggest mistake we see home cooks making is just not seasoning their food. And I actually used to do that. When I was first learning how to cook, I never added salt to my food because I just didn't think it needed it, which I learned very quickly that it does. Everything needs a little bit of salt, even your baked goods. I always recommend tasting your ingredients, plain without adding anything, and then add a little bit of salt and taste them. And you're gonna see kind of how the salt makes it pop and makes it taste brighter and just more delicious. We have a couple of our favorite salts here. And kind of your two main varieties of salt are gonna be your cooking salts and then your finishing salts. So your cooking salt's like your utility salt. You use that to season, you use that in baking, in anything you're doing. Your finishing salts are more of almost a garnish. So those are things that you do at the end of cooking that really stand out. Main types of salt that you'll see, so table salt, iodized table salt. I really don't think you should have that in your kitchen. If you do have it, that's fine, but we can suggest an upgrade so iodized salt, usually it's very, very salty. It's very, very fine, which means it's kind of hard to cook with. And it often has a metallic taste to it, so it's not gonna give your food a great flavor, and it'll often just be like salt, which is not really what we want. Then we have kosher salt. So kosher salt is our favorite cooking salt. It's kind of like your utility salt, so it's great for all purposes. It is a little less salty and more of just a clean, pure flavor. It's a lot easier to work with than a table salt. Two main brands you'll see are Morton and Diamond Crystal. If you've been to a class, you probably know which one that we prefer and I prefer, but we'll go over both. So Morton is gonna be a little bit of a coarser crystal. It's denser, it's bigger. It's a little bit harder, I think, to work with because it doesn't adhere to food quite as well, and it's slower to dissolve. So Diamond Crystal has a very, very beautiful fine texture to it. It dissolves really quickly and it adheres to food very well.
Hey guys, it's Claire. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about finishing salts, a couple different kinds. We have a Morton, which is a very flaky salt. We have a sea salt, which is a little bit of a finer texture, still very flaky. We have a pink Himalayan, as well as a black Hawaiian. So when you're thinking about which salts to finish, you're really looking at a texture versus flavor. So one of the great things that salt can add, in addition to making your dish 10 times better than it would be, is you can also really get a crunch.
Okay, so we recommend keeping your salt, close to your stove. In my home kitchen, I have a little Lazy Susan that I keep my oil and my salt and all of that on. I just kind of cut open the box of one of these, but you might also want to have a little salt dish with a lid on it. But it should be very close and easy to access. In terms of the lifespan of salt, it lasts a really long time. So I would recommend, if you have some salt and you're not sure how long it's been around, just taste it. As long as it still has a clean, pure taste and no off flavors, it's still fine to use.